This video is called Jesus Was Not a Carpenter. I will explain what the profession of Jesus really was. My explanations are based on the German book Kennst du das Land by Pastor Ludwig Schneller. The title translated in English means Do You Know the Land? This book was printed in 1894 and Pastor Schneller himself was in the 1880s pastor in Bethlehem. He wants to give us a better understanding of the Bible by describing the life of the people in Palestine at his days. He calls the land Palestine and not Israel because in his days it was part of the Ottoman Empire and not the state of Israel. So I use his wording too. When we want to know what the profession of Jesus was, we can assume that he had the same profession as his father Joseph. Joseph had the profession that is called with the Greek word tekton. Tekton is, for instance, part of our word architect. Therefore, tekton was a house builder. At the time when the translation of the King James Bible was done in the 1600s, in Europe, houses were mainly built of wood, and so building of a house was the job of a carpenter. That is why we find this translation in the Bible. But in Palestine, houses are not and have not been built of wood, but of stone. The profession of a house builder really is a bricklayer or stonemason. So we can assume that Joseph had the profession of a bricklayer, stonemason or builder. Ludwig Schneller describes a special observation that he made in his time, and he assumes that it had been the same in former days. Special professions were concentrated in special places. So potters or glaziers were found mainly in Hebron, mother of pearl workers only in Bethlehem, and builders, bricklayers and stonemasons mainly in Bethlehem and its associated villages, Beit Jala and Beit Sahur. He writes, at almost all proper buildings in Jerusalem, there are working bricklayers and stonemasons of Bethlehem, and they have an unmatched skill in their profession all over the land. So they are in demand for building in Hebron or in Kerak in Moab, which is a 5 days journey away from Bethlehem, and even in Nazareth in Galilee they find profitable work for a long time. This does explain that Joseph went to Nazareth to find a job there, and there he got to know Mary and became engaged with her. At last, he had to travel back to his hometown because of the census. So we can draw the conclusion that Jesus has been a builder, bricklayer or stonemason too. This may explain why one of his disciples in one episode in the Gospel of Mark in chapter 13 verse 1 explicitly points out to him the building of the temple. He said, Master, see what a manner of stones and what buildings are there. That is as if he wants to know Jesus' professional judgment about the workmanship of the temple. And it also explains that Jesus took some of his parables from the building sector. The parable of the house on stone and the house on sand, and also the parable of the man who couldn't finish the construction because he ran out of money. In a sense, Jesus Christ still has that profession. As the Apostle Peter writes, that Jesus is building his church with living stones, namely those who follow him. They are built as stones to form a temple in which God is dwelling. If this information was useful for you, I invite you to view my German videos on YouTube also. You may click on the automatically generated subtitles for your language. The English subtitles are acceptable, and I was told that the Hebrew subtitles are acceptable too.